Everybody, this is Gilda Duffy, and I attended the third session on Thursday with Dr. Jennifer Hills. This was in the TALAE 2021 presentation. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I felt like Dr. Hills presented a lot of interesting ideas for use in virtual classrooms. She divided her presentation into 4 parts: introductory activities, interactive activities, clickable activities, and importing resources. In introductory activities, she suggests that one should provide opportunities for you as a teacher and your students to connect with each other, get to know each other. Also, to include a pre and a post assessment, and also to incorporate some settling time at the very beginning of class. She also gave us a link to a student version of her presentation. That was the first thing she did. And she asked us to copy paste and open it in a new link. She also asked us to make a copy of it so that we would be able to have a clean sample to share with others later on. The copy was a student version of her presentation, and we could interact with these slides. Every student had their own. I really, really like this idea. One of the first activities she did was a check-in activity. And this is kind of a fun way for students to check into your classroom at the beginning of class and, maybe start up some conversations. She asked us to pick one animal and drag that picture into a text box. And then she also provided another text box for us to explain why we chose that animal. She also gave us a little quiz. It was just a fun historical kind of trivia thing, like in which country was a hot dog first created? And then she presented 3 words to us: bomber, parka, and pea, and asked us, how are these words related? She also had us play a game called Double Agent, which was kind of like a murder mystery. One person was the double agent, and she managed it behind the scenes. So I'm not quite sure how the game was set up. I asked her for written directions to play the game, but she didn't have any, but she said that she would try to write some up and send them to us. The purpose of the game was to guess who the double agent was by asking questions and trying to guess which student the double agent was. If you guessed wrong, you were out of the game. So the exercise was a great speaking, vocabulary, and creative thinking activity. Um, she also said that we need tools to succeed. One of the ideas was team leaders. These are students who can share the screen with you, and also maybe help monitor breakout rooms. She talked about manual versus automatic setup of breakout rooms, and that each have their pros and cons. The main thing to do is to think about the ability of your students and also the activity that you are working on to decide whether manual or automatic is best for you. Also for us. Have patience with students who are having a little trouble with technology, and above all, be creative. Make your students have fun. Make sure your students are having fun. We played another activity called Categories, and this is a game that we played in the breakout rooms. It could be used to build vocabulary. We could recreate this in Padlet, I think, or as a Droid activity in Nearpod. So here is the actual game, and she gave us a link which took us to another slide. And here you see where we have the 3 questions, and then we have the words that we came up with, and each word started with one of the letters on the left. We also used, she also talked about clickable activities, and she created these in Google Slides. She gave us an example of one for language arts, math, and geography. Here's the one for geography, and the main thing you do is you just take your box and you put it in the state where, whoops, left my box behind. you put it in the state that where it belongs. She also had these little stars where you could mark where you have visited in the past. The next thing she did was to do math shapes. And same thing, you drag and drop and put the shape in the correct spot. In language arts, she showed us where you can write words or use different words and use and have them be identified as whether they're a noun, preposition, verbs, what have you. The last thing she talked about was importing resources, and the resources she used were slides.go. She also used Pear Deck, which is a another version of Nearpod, or a different version of Nearpod, similar version. And then she also showed us Lucid Chart diagrams, which is a great app to use if you're creating diagrams and you're doing a lot of labeling and things like that. They just have a marvelous array of different kinds of arrangements. So here is her slide for resources that she used, which are the same ones that I just mentioned. And she also said to include this slide where it's kind of like giving credit to the person who came up with this slideshow presentation, which was Dr. Jennifer Hills, along with the apps that she used. Digital integration in a virtual classroom. The slides 2, 6, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, and 19 were shared from Dr. Jennifer Hill's presentation at TALAE 2021. Thank you very much.